Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our final four Big Brother Disney All Stars eviction. We have Keaton here with us, all the way down to fourth place. Keaton, how are you feeling? You're one of my only few that I've done a fresh eviction for. So how does it feel? Like right after they got evicted, how does it feel?
I'm
How are you
I'm
feeling?
at peace. Like I knew this was gonna happen basically the second the veto was won. Yes, I still tried to fight, but I didn't really see a world in where Jeremy would actually be convinced to keep me, even if it was the right fucking call. But I digress there. I should have left at five, so I was able to fight another round. So the fact that I fought a little longer and fought past my expiration date was happy in itself, and I don't think I should have made it this far. So the fact that I got to four, I'm really proud of the game I played, no matter what. I'm getting here was not something I anticipated.
Well, let's talk about that because I get a lot of your beginning live confessionals, and you're always like, Michael, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. But then I remember there was one day where I peeked into your DR and you were like, "Oh, that's a facade. I want to win this game." So, are you really shocked that you made it this far?
Oh, absolutely. I think the way I played had some similarities to my first time. The biggest thing is making a group of three almost right off the bat and then rocking with that shit or disregarding the consequences. But
Mhm.
beyond that, I played a much louder game. I wasn't afraid to make the moves that I had to for myself. And I wasn't afraid to put on an act because I couldn't play the quiet game. I'm not allowed to sit back and be quiet here because of the position I'm in with the threat that's on my back and the position of just BB knowledge in general with Disney. So I I did the only thing I know how, and that was fucking swing, fight, and try and put myself in the best position consistently. And I am surprised that it actually worked. It makes me feel really good about my play, but I'm surprised it actually fucking went the way we thought it was gonna.
Well, you should definitely be very proud of yourself for making it to Final Four. And that's the last nice thing I'm going to say. No, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, let's talk about alliances. There was a lot of alliances in the beginning of the game, and it was all getting ruined because of this first split vote that you all decided to do. Um, I know you were very happy because you were not technically in that vote. Yes, you can wipe your hands clean. So everyone loves to go in. Everyone loves to say they like to play in the middle so they don't get targeted. But we switched that role because we said you all have to vote, and you all are half of you are nominated. So do you think that like how did you feel that first round when it was like, wow, I really can just play the middle right now because no one is mad at me for my vote?
I wanted to try and utilize that as much as possible. Um, I knew I couldn't do it forever. The sooner I side myself, the better, because being against people in Big Brother tends to be a better play than being in the middle, because then you could be against everyone. But if you choose a group of people that is like, yeah, I think we're all getting screwed for the same reason, then it's going to be a better shot overall. So I was very happy to play it for a little bit because I wasn't a part of the 15 votes of fucking hell, but I knew it wasn't going to last. But early game, fuck yes, please. I don't need to be sided fucking round three.
And then so your alliances you had a very bigger it was a lot. You had one with Buckley, Farrell, and I think Cody. No, Jeremy at one point. You had your little thing with Jill. I believe you might even been in a group with Jill. You had it with Karen and Jeremy. You lasted with Karen and Jeremy and you got fourth. Now, of course, anything could have happened if Jen maybe didn't win HOH, blah, blah, blah. Do you regret any alliance decisions? Do you think you turned on anyone too early? Do you think you turn on didn't turn some on someone enough? Um, I know you talked saying that you, Karen Jeremy, was your final goal, which you almost got there, but do you think there was a different path you could have taken to make sure you were getting third, second, or first?
Um, I mean, sure, there's probably a plethora of ways where I could have carved myself a better path, but I think I did the best I could with the game I wanted to play, and it was just one where I wanted to rock with strong players and be able to just make it as far as we could together, and we absolutely destroyed the fucking game. Um, I wasn't even set up bad at 4. Like Jen winning HOH was second best situation. Obviously, myself was best and Karen was worst. But the the fact that I had a 50% chance of being able to vote and it was just based on the comp, I'm not mad. I was in a decent setup and and I was still fighting my ass off to try and convince Jeremy because it wasn't complete dead in the water. So overall, I would change absolutely nothing. I'm very proud of the game I played. I'm very happy about it. Sure, I didn't win, but I never had an expectation of winning again. So the fact that I got here was amazing within itself.
Right. And do you think that, like, I mean, do you think you would have had, did you, yeah, sorry, did you expect to go in there with a bigger target as a winner, as someone, like you said, your reputation? Or, like I said, was it just kind of a new game, new slate, and people just really were pissed off on the first few weeks with that split, though?
I think the way that certain people decided to handle themselves definitely gave me an advantage, and I was able to play with the perception that people were painting in order to give myself the best route.
Mhm.
And I think I I just worked with Karen and Jeremy to make it a reality that worked the best for the three of us beyond anything else. And I mean, I think it showed. I think almost every single week went our way. Like the only the only round that something did not go perfectly our way was really 5, and even then that's because Jeremy's a fucking clown ass. But yeah, I'm very like it was this is probably gonna be my favorite game I played just because of how it went.
I mean, you also did evict Sierra in the Brian vote, but we're not going to talk about that round, I guess.
Hey, well, no, let's talk about it because it was strategic. I knew I was voting in minority, but I needed a way to show these people I was loyal to them. And if I say I'm loyal and then proceed to not vote with them, yeah, it's a lot harder to stay sided with them. So I did it knowing it be minority, but also knowing it helps me to be look sided and not look like where my loyalties actually lie. And then I immediately won HOH that I wasn't fucking there for and was able to solidify it even further.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about. I want to talk about alliances again because I have another question about alliances. So you decided that when you won HOH, especially let's since you mentioned that HOH that you didn't weren't there to win, you decided that you know what, I am going to make it public that I am working with the people who were might have been on the outside. So Jen, Robertoria, Lily, and then this underdog alliance came along, and we saw some things from you where you were kind of working with them, and then the second they were like, "Hey, I think we should do this." You ran to Jeremy and Karen, and you were like, "Oh, by the way, Victoria could have said, here's my social security card." You would have been like, "Hey, by the way, this is Victoria's social." So do you wish you played more in the middle? Was your just loyalty towards Jeremy and Karen?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. My goal was to make the 3 with them, and then quite honestly, try and do what I try and did here, which was make the other person believe that they played too similar of a game and that they'd be better off playing against someone that didn't have the same style, and it's up to what the jury respects. That was my entire hope. It wasn't the strongest one, but I didn't see another path for me based on the first couple weeks of the game. I felt like it was my best option. And I was also banking on the fact that one of them would get taken out at some point. But some things just work too well. And honestly, that's the fun part. Um, if they should have shot
So,
at one of us at some point, but they didn't. They only shot at me, but I was too protected.
so were you ever hoping that they somehow someone took a shot at them? Like, I know was it one of those things where you were like, "Oh no, don't get evicted." Like, no, that sucks. Like,
Um,
or you just were like, whatever happens.
I was bracing for the worst thing that happened because things usually never go right. Like usually at some point the plan falls apart, but it never fell apart. Like the whole game. It was a weird experience. I've never once had it where it was just like, oh, things went our way. Oh, things went our way. Oh, wait, it's Final Fight? It was absolutely weird.
There you had a couple. not arguments, but you had some shifts with Jill. Um, I think that's really it.
Just Jill.
Maybe John Buckley if we're gonna count the live night because it was just loud. Um, like, do you think so? My question was is because you had to nominate a lot of people, you had to save a lot of people, right? Do you, if you would have played, if their Club 33 wasn't a thing where you weren't saving people and there wasn't extra noms, was Jill someone you wanted in your back pocket or more than you were nominating her? Like, I'm sure that wasn't your goal. I know you don't want to nominate half the house.
Um, my goal was not to go against Jill. When I made that final two with her, I was fully like ready to run with it and disregard everything else and give it 2 rounds. I probably tell her everything. But then she gets mad at me for playing my own game. The thing that she did the round before. Communication broke off, and I said, okay, cool. I guess we're enemies now. And that's why I had no problem putting her up on my second HOH because she wasn't my ally, and I was trying to still make moves that were positive for a game while trying to prevent as much damage to my relationships. And I think I did the best I could on my first two HOHs. Like I got out 2 decent targets that weren't in my pocket, and I'd rather go after the middle than the side because it's the best way for Karen and Jeremy to play the middle and then be able to protect me. So overall, it was for the sake of my protection while also doing things that may still have bettered my game beyond that.
Oh, I had a great question and I lost it. Right, so your targets were Julia and oh my God, who was the other one who went on your HOH? John Farrell, right?
All three of them were my targets. My targets left each round.
Why am I
My
blanking on who the third one was?
Rose, my friend.
Rose, right. So you took out Julia, Rose, and John Farrell. Like you were just going after the big targets. I know like you were you ever trying to work with Julia? That was always an interesting relationship, I felt like. Because you kept saying the 14th, same 14th. Like, was that ever going to work? Was there ever going to be a Winners Alliance? I really need to know this.
I had no intention of doing a winners alliance. That's fucking game suicide. No way. I turned it down the second it was fucking said. And then threw Julia under the fucking bus for it and didn't feel bad one bit. And then pretended that I was an idiot. Like it was on purpose. I did not want a winners alliance, and I wanted no one to be connected to a winners alliance. So when I did work with a winner, it was because I needed to, not because I wanted to, or the other way around. I don't know. Words are hard. Um, I had no intention of winners alliance, and I had some intention of working with Julia, but just the relationship started distancing. And I don't think campaigning for her to go up 48 hours really did me any fucking favors. So when it was time to swing, I was more than glad to give Julia the 14th repeat.
And then I hate to do this to you, but if you did have to choose one regret, what would it be? You have to choose one.
Um, what is the one thing in this game I regret the most? Um, hmm. I think it's just not letting people know sooner, like why I was doing something. For my own sake, like for my own emotional stability, I would often not give people reason as to why they're leaving, or if they were leaving, I just like, oh yeah, you're going. I couldn't really bring myself to explain it because A, it hurt, like it was gonna affect me too much mentally, and B, I felt like I would have just started word vomiting and just saying exactly why and exposing myself too early. Hell, I'm kind of looking now. Somehow it's still not entirely clear what my game was to these people. So that's cool. But hey,
Well, was your goal to do like I want to say you play both sides, but being in the middle between that underdog alliance and then you had Jeremy and Karen, and then you had Jill and Farrell who kind of trusted you. So it was like I guess your goal was to have everyone kind of have all your bases covered.
that that was my goal because at the end of the day, I knew I still had avenues with people and I wasn't stabbing as blatantly as Karen and Jeremy. So I wanted to give myself abilities to still maneuver while they were kind of stuck in the middle and now stuck with each other. No one still went for them, which it shows their testament of their game as well. But I had to try and find my own route. And hell, even at Final Four, yes, I left, but I still wasn't in a bad spot.
Okay. And then what I don't believe in bitter jurors. I think you can vote however you want. So what are you doing as a juror? I mean, you have like what 2 days to figure out what you want to do, but like what is your goal going to? How are you voting? Are you voting gameplay, your personal relationships, what happened on your way out? Everyone always thinks about these things. So what's important to you?
Um, I'm going in with an open mind and mostly going to be I'm going to be voting based on how my question is asked, really. I don't it's because it's the one thing I'm going to be able to focus on the most. Like opening statements, I'm gonna get fucking bored. One of them's gonna write a fucking speech, cough, cough, Jeremy, cough, cough, and I'm just not gonna fucking listen to it because I don't care. Like I'm gonna fucking say it how I see it. Opening speeches, fucking no, say the things that my words say. I want to be important and just listen to me. Like I'm not gonna hide it. It's because it's about me. It's about what I say. So and beyond that, I'm gonna try and lift the other three's games up because I all think they played great games and want to try and highlight them rather than tear it down. I played decently close with all of them. I think they deserve that much. Because I know especially like each of their games has flaws, and I want to try and show how each of these flaws either aren't there or don't matter. And I want to make this the hardest final three, like or the hardest final two that these people have ever experienced to vote for. I'm gonna give them hell, but in a nice way. Kill them with kindness, God damn it.
Kill them with kindness. And let's do some rapid fire questions. For you, it's gonna be a little harder than what I was doing with other people because you don't have many to choose from. So I'm just gonna ask you how you really feel. If you had to guess your next paycheck on who you think was going to win, who is it going to be?
Karen.
Okay. And who do you want to see win out of the three?
Jen.
Jen. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so usually I ask everyone who they want to see next evicted and who they think will be evicted. So, you think Karen will win? Who do you think will be sitting next to her in the final?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Okay. And who would you like to see get third place? Who are you hoping joins you in the jury house?
Jeremy, but it's not happening. It's the hope, but I know there's zero world in where it happens.
Do you think Jen and Karen are both taking Jeremy to the end?
They have to. They have to. Like that's the weaker player. Like from their perspective, like it doesn't. I don't fucking care what this jury says. I don't care if this jury fucking loves Jeremy. Jeremy's played the weakest game on paper. It just makes more sense. Jen and Karen can't take each other. That's for damn sure. So they have to take the person with the less storied game.
Gotcha. I can't wait for finale.
Oh
Just
God.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Oh God.
kidding. Um, Okay, and last but not least, how do you feel about your Disney experience? What are you taking from this? What are your final words?
I've played this game for 90 days, and had it in my life for 2 years. It has been a lot. Um, I didn't think I would get this far with it, and I didn't think I'd be able to put on a show like I did the first time, and I feel like I played to the same caliber I did the first time, which is insane to me because I didn't think I could repeat it. Sure, I'm sitting here in the jury house this time, but I played just as many rounds as I did the first time. What the fuck? That doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like that I should be saying that. It doesn't feel like I should have been able to play 45 days. It doesn't feel like I should have lasted as long as I did. But despite everything I did, despite several people wanting me out, they never had the chances. Despite several people saying I was playing for third, I still made it this far. Despite everything, it was my game and the decisions I decided to make that got me here. Sure, I was playing with other people, but you have to. I'm very, very proud of the game I played. I am going to consider it one of the strongest games I've ever played. And I know that nothing anyone says will take that away from me. No one, because I know the game I played. And if anyone wants to fight it, they get these hands.
Well, that is very, very beautifully said. I just want to say thank you, Keaton, for playing, of course. It was great to actually see the way you play. You should be very proud of yourself. Final four, 45 days. I'm playing a game right now for like 10 days and I can't even. So you should be very proud of yourself. So with that, we will say goodbye. We will hit this lovely button.